In the ancient times of China, there lived a giant named Kuafu. He was a man of extraordinary strength and an unquenchable spirit of adventure, standing as tall as the mightiest trees in the forest, with muscles like boulders and a voice that could shake the earth. Kuafu was well known among the tribes for his courage and determination. One scorching summer, the sun seemed to be closer to the earth than ever before. The land was parted, rivers dried up, and crops withered away. People were suffering greatly from the intense heat. Kuafu, filled with compassion for his people, made a bold decision. He vowed to catch up with the sun and make it behave so that the land could return to its former fertile state. With a thunderous step, Kuafu set off on his epic journey. His long strides covered vast distances in an instant. As he ran, he could feel the heat of the sun on his back, like a searing fire. Along the way, he passed by many tribes. The people were both in awe and worried about him. An old wise man stopped him and said, "Kuafu, the sun is a divine being. It's beyond our reach. You're risking your life for this impossible mission." But Kuafu just smiled and replied firmly, "I know it's difficult, but I can't stand by and watch my people suffer. I have to try." As he continued his pursuit, the challenges grew more and more daunting. The ground beneath his feet was so hot that it burned his soles, but he didn't stop. He ran through deserts where the sand was like rotten grass, and across mountains where the air was thin and the heat was even more intense. After days and days of running, Kuafu was getting closer to the sun. However, the closer he got, the thirstier he became. His throat was as dry as a desert, and his lips were cracked. He came to a great river and bent down to drink. In one gulp, he emptied the entire river, but it still wasn't enough to quench his thirst. He then rushed to the great lake nearby. Once again, he drank so much that the lake level dropped significantly, but his thirst remained unquenched. Realizing that he needed more water, he decided to head north to the vast sea. As he staggered towards the sea, his strength was waning. The long distance running and the intense heat had taken a toll on his body, but his will was still strong. He kept repeating to himself, "I'm almost there. I can't give up now." However, just before he could reach the sea, Kuafu's legs gave way. He fell to the ground with a loud thud. The people who had been following his journey with hope and fear rushed to his side. Kuafu, with his last bit of strength, looked up at the sun and said, "I may not have caught you this time, but I hope that one day, the people will live in a world without such extreme heat." With those words, Kuafu closed his eyes and passed away, but his sacrifice was not in vain. From his body, a vast forest grew. The trees provided shade for the people, and their roots held the soil together, preventing further desertification. The forest also attracted rain clouds, and gradually, the land became fertile again. The story of Kuafu's pursuit of the sun spread far and wide. It became a legend, inspiring generations of people. His courage, determination, and self-sacrifice were remembered as symbols of hope and the indomitable human spirit. Even though he didn't achieve his initial goal, he left behind a legacy that would live on in the hearts and minds of the people forever.